Hello everyone, Gaara here and welcome to a brand new deck tech video. This deck tech video is brought to you by our sponsors G2A. Today I'm gonna talk about an Aggro Paladin deck. It just came back from DreamHack Valencia and this is the Aggro Paladin list that Greenship used and he won the DreamHack. And I went over many different Aggro Paladins and I played many different Aggro Paladins myself. And also like in tournaments. I played Aggro Paladin in DreamHack Sweden as well. And yeah, this is the list I like the most from what I've seen. I tried like Chucky's list and stuff. And yeah, this is just the list I like the most. And it's basically Chucky's list just with some modifications from Greenship. And so yeah, shoutouts to Greenship. And I haven't been making so many videos lately just because I'm very busy like with Archon League and that's also not when I'm streaming, and I'm preparing for WCA qualifiers and I'm going to assembly and so on. Alright, now let's talk about this deck. This deck plays only one Blessing of Might, like you might see a double Blessing of Might in some lists, and the reason is just because it's basically like a dead card, right, if you don't have bot control. This list has I think at least one more 1-drop compared to other lists, and I think it's very good. Like you basically hard mulligan for 1-drops all the time and you keep all 1-drops. And yeah, it has WBC Surgeon, W Agent Squire, Lepanome. It doesn't play the Agent Protector, which you tend to play in some lists. That's why it makes Blessing of Might like a little bit weaker. If you play an Aggro Paladin list with a lot of Divine Shield givers or Divine Shield minions, it automatically makes Blessing of Might and Blessing of Kings stronger, just because you have a chance to get multiple attacks in with the card. It is also like very cheap. The card itself is not very bad, but yeah, you rather have like a minion you play than this card, for example. WBC Surgeon, pretty standard. It's just very strong. You like if you get the maximum value out of this card, it's a 4/1 for 1. That's like pretty sick. Agent Squire, it has Divine Shield. It's a very good combo with the Blessing of Might. Sticky minion on board. Yeah, just very sticky, strong overall. One of the better 1-drops you can play right now. Lepanome, it's like the strongest aggressive 1-drop. Also pretty standard. Same with South Sea Deckhand. It is actually a very strong minion because it's a 2/1 charger for 1 mana. I'm talking about the 1 mana cost. And in Paladin you play a lot of weapons and you will just get like the charge effect of it most of the time. You can combo it with Blessing of Kings later, which is like very strong, and it's usually very difficult for your opponent to remove as well. 1 Worgen Infiltrator, this is like the green sheep flavor. It's a stealther, so there's a high chance it will survive, and then you can buff it with the Blessing of Kings or the Blessing of Might. And 1 Neutron, also like for aggro mirror matches, whoever plays a taunt is usually favored because both aggro decks try to raise the opponent, except it is Zoo. But I wouldn't consider Zoo even an aggro deck, it's more like a board control deck nowadays, because you play like a slower curve. You try to get bot control from the beginning and then you just win from there. So it has a lot of 1-drops. You will always keep all 1-drops. And yeah, you just try to raise your opponent as quickly as possible. When you run out of cards, you play Divine Favor and just refresh your hand. So I think right now Aggro Paladin is the strongest aggro deck, in my opinion. And yeah, I think this is one of the better lists. Double Owl, pretty core, just to break through taunts. It is also a very good card against like Hunter, for example, where you can just play it as an answer to Mad Scientist, or against other Aggro Paladins. It deals with Blessing of Kings minions, or also against Zoo, it deals with Nerubian X, and the minion also trades with it. So I think right now Iron Big Owl is a very strong card. Knife Juggler, very good in Aggro Paladin, especially with the Master for Battle. You get like a ton of damage in. Shielded Minibot, most pro players consider this as the strongest 2-drop in the game right now. And the coin Minibot into Minibot is like one of the sickest tempo plays you can do. Divine Favor is very strong against control decks. It's very weak against aggro decks, but it usually doesn't matter, you just hope to not draw it. Against control decks, it just gives you like an endless arsenal of cards. Master for Battle, like the strongest free mana card in the game right now. It just gives you a board of minions and a weapon. It's just like a tremendous amount of damage. Most of the time people have to immediately AoE Master for Battle, which is crazy. King Golem, just like a Huffer that gives your opponent mana crystals. It's the best charger, 4 damage for 3 mana, it's like insane value. Yeah, the drawback is 1 mana crystal, but usually it's used as a finisher, so it doesn't matter. True Silver Champion, that's the card that helps you win every race against other aggro decks, just because you heal yourself for 4, which is a big deal, and you deal 8 damage, which is also a big deal. Blessing of Kings, very strong in aggro Paladin, especially if you put it on a Divine Shield minion, because it's not just 4 damage to the face, but it makes the minion also very resilient and difficult to be killed. Consecration, a board clear, and burst damage. 1 defender of Argus, as I mentioned earlier. If you play Taunt in addition to a lot of aggression, you usually are favored against other aggro decks. So it's an aggro deck that is good against the standard decks, like you just that is played in the meta right now. It is good against the Druid. It is weak to Rogue and Warrior, because it's in general weak to Whirlwind effects, and Patron Warrior has a lot of them, but it's basically favored against everything else. I'm also gonna show you some games. I hope you guys